Hey guys, welcome back. In this reactjs series, we will look at useCallback hook. So what is useCallback? React useCallback hook, it returns a memoized callback function. You can think of like memorizations as caching a value so that it doesn't need to be recalculated or re-render. Okay, and the useCallback hook, it only runs when one of its dependencies update. This means when the props have changed. Okay, so what does this do? This can improve the performance because it isolated like the resource function, so it will not automatically run on every render. It's a bit confusing, but once I show you the example, it will be very clear. Okay, so here we have the app component, right? We declare the set count with the to do as well. So the set count is basically counting the number, keep increasing the number. And for the to do, it will store the value, and now it is the array type. And we have two functions. So one is the increment. Basically, when we click on or call the function, it will increase the number by 1 each time. Okay, and the add to do, this function, it will, all right, this text called new to do, it will be added to the existing one. Right now we haven't really used the useCallback yet, but I want to show you the normal one first. Okay, the one that is without using the useCallback, and then I will show you how to use this one. Here in the to do, here we call the to do component, right, in the app component here. So the to do, we pass the data, the to do, right, the to do here, now storing as empty array. We pass it via the props, and we also have the add to do. Okay, so this one is not the value, it's not storing value, but this is the function I showed you earlier as well. Every time that we click or call this function, it will add this new to do to the existing array. And down here we have the count, basically showing the number when we click on the button, right? So clicking on the plus button here, it will call this function. This function is to increase the number by 1 every time. So have a look at the to do component. So in the to do component, we have the props. Okay, so the prop, first one is the to do, second one is the function add to do, and here we return the list of to do that we have. Okay, so it will add a new text called new to do to this. Okay, so it will show this in a new line every time that we click on this button. Okay, so the button called add to do, once we click on that, it will call this function call add to do, right? And this is what it does. It will add this text every time, and this is basically we want to show it. Okay, to show whatever that is in the array to the screen, right? So now let's have a look without using the useCallback, what it's gonna show us. And also here we have the console log called child render as well. Okay, so here it is. We have the button. Whenever I click on it, right, it adds a new text called new to do to the list. And we also have the count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? Now I want to show you by inspecting, I want to show you the console, right? So in the console we have child render, right? So now when I click on this button, and you can notice down here, so I click on the add to do, and the child render appear, all right, meaning that it re-render. When I click on this, it also re-render as well. So even though I click on this button a few times, right, it still re-render every time I click on the button. The same for the count as well. Okay, so we don't want this to happen. We want to improve the performance. We want to eliminate or try to get rid of this issue without having to re-render every time that we. So how do we do that? Let's go back to the code. In the app.js, the app component, we can now comment this and uncomment this one here. So here we are using the useCallback. Okay, just put it there. And then inside here, basically, they still stay the same. So useCallback here is to prevent the to-do component from re-rendering if not necessary. So just use that keyword here and then go back to this to-do.js. We also have to use the memo here as well. Okay, so import it from React. So this one here, it check for the prop changes. Every time that the prop changes, then this will be in use. And now the to-do component will only re-render when the to-do props changes. Whenever that this to-do props, okay, when the value it changes, then it will call this component. Then this to-do component will be re-render, okay. And once you import it up here, then down here export default also have to use it, okay, wrap it around this to do as well. So now let's take a look again on the screen. Let's just refresh this. Okay, now we are using the useCallback, right? So let me click on this button here. Okay, when I click on it, you can see it re-render, right? And what about if I click on this button, the plus sign? Will it show the child render or not? And as you can see, this time the to-do component is no longer re-render, right? And this will increase, of course, the performance, but only if I click on this button, then this component, the to-do component, is re-render. Okay, if this is not involving with this button, right, it will not re-render at all. So this is how we use the useCallback just to improve the performance. It returns a memoized callback function. In this case, the function call add to do. Hope you learn how to use the useCallback hooks in this video, and I'll see you in the next video.